Today we started out with trailer loading. Seeing as how Aries will be moving out to Bodega Bay in a week, I thought I should make sure he's still game to get in the rattling metal box. He hopped right in. I did some endo tapping while he was inside to help relax him and help diffuse that flight instinct. He went in and out several times, each time getting tapped while he was in the trailer. I wanted you all to see the effect tapping has on a horse. Here he is so relaxed after the work and tapping in the trailer, he barely raises his head as we walk to get Picasso. I thought today would be a good day to refresh and further our skills on working with another horse. I want to be able to pony Aries off other horses and pony horses from Aries. To do this, I have to have the utmost obedience from each horse. I start off lunging both horses. It's never a problem when the dominant horse moves into the submissive horse's space. The problems come when you ask a submissive horse to enter a dominant horse's space. Here I ask Pika to enter Aries' space. When they are alone, Aries is free to discipline Picasso however he wants. But if I am there, both boys have to keep focused on me and not worry about what the other one is doing. Here I ask Picasso to step closer to Aries. Aries is not allowed to sneer or bite at Picasso. He is to keep his attention on me, which he does. Picasso is a mischievous horse. He knows Aries can't discipline him when I am there, so he takes full advantage and sniffs Aries, the little devil child. Picasso can help Aries learn a lot. Pika likes to be relaxed, so he drops his head and yawns a lot. This will have a calming effect on Aries. As I ask them to walk off, Aries offers me a unique opportunity to double lunge with one on an inner circle and one on an outer circle. It's challenging to keep communication with both the inside and outside horse at the same time. but we had fun trying. Here with Picasso on the inside, Aries feels the need to tell Pika to back off. I let Aries know that that was not appreciated. Here, Picasso, again, takes full advantage of his safety net and gets right up in Aries' space. And poor Aries can't do anything but tolerate it and make a promise to bite Picasso later. My goal for bringing Picasso out today was actually to help Aries learn to canter. If he saw Picasso doing it, maybe he'd catch on faster. That would be fine if Picasso was being obedient. Here, Picasso goes completely off the reservation and flat out ignores me. I tell Aries to stand and go retrieve Picasso. For the next 10 minutes, I remind Picasso of all the wonderful education that he's had over the past 8 years. Watch carefully. Notice Aries never moves while I'm giving Picasso a strict talking to. He knows when to sit still and not draw attention to himself. Picasso gradually remembers that he's a good boy and needs to behave. I still love him, and he has to help me train the wild stallion, not make things worse. Starting today, you all get to view this adventure from a whole new perspective. You get to see what I see. Okay, so this was my first day with the new GoPro Hero helmet-mounted camera. It's going to take a bit of time to get the angles right. Obviously, it wasn't tilted down enough today, but I'll get better with each use. After warming up, I climb aboard for your first ride on Aries. We practice our direct and indirect turns, and he's getting pretty good at them. One little issue. If I ever pull on the halter, he is quite capable of winning a pulling match. So when he starts to thrust his head against the halter, I have to find a way to quickly get rid of that tendency. I do bump him with the halter, but that doesn't seem to work as well as carrying a crop and tapping the outside shoulder to encourage him to go with the halter, not against it. Here, I use the crop on his shoulder and neck to remind him that he needs to pay attention to the halter. His backing up is coming along really well. He starts to back up with just the gentle bumping of my legs. After our ride, I decided to ask Aries to carry the bit again, just for practice. Today we also had a lesson with Miranda Payne, another natural horsemanship trainer at the barn. I wanted Miranda to help get Aries' canter more sorted out. We came at the problem of getting him to canter consistently from a couple different directions. First, I needed to teach him to have more confidence in his movement. If I send him out on a circle, he needs to stay out there and go at whatever speed I set until I tell him to do something else. He's far enough along that he doesn't need as much assistance from me. We start this process by sending him out, emphatically, and seeing what he does. He quickly decides he'd like to stop. I am not discouraging him from coming in, but I do want him to stay out on the circle until he is asked in. So each time he tries to come in, I say thank you, but that isn't what I want right now. Go back out. We also want the canter to be a choice he makes, not something he is chased into. I send him out with a 1, 2, 3 motion. I point with my hand and my body, then I slap the whip on the ground 1, 2, 3 times. If he leaves quickly, I don't keep pursuing. This is a totally new exercise, and he was nervous about it. So when he started to get the idea, we changed things up and went back to some work that we do together, just walking and doing turns he knows really well, to help build his confidence up. Now that he is leaving when asked, I can start to have him mirror me. Aries really likes to mirror me, so I can use that to help him canter. I start to canter and he picks it up. When he trots, I trot. The goal is to bring his anxious energy level down, so I slow my trot way down to help him calm down, which he reacts to very well. Then I can ask him to canter again, and then bring him down. Watch his trot. You will see distinct differences. He has periods of anxious trotting, then he starts to mirror me, and his trot becomes less anxious. Then I ask him to canter, and he has an anxious trot again, but then comes down very quickly. When he asks to come in, I agree. After being such a good boy, I want to reward him with some downtime. Another issue we've had lately is Aries pulling his head away when I go to pet him. Sometimes he's honestly insecure, and other times he's blowing me off. Here, he blows me off, and he needs to be corrected. Miranda suggested using the whip to tap him very quickly, like a bite. He blows me off, the whip bites him. There are consequences to rude behavior. Since Aries has that stallion mentality, those little signs of disrespect can turn big very quickly. The more we do the mirroring exercise, the faster he drops out of that anxious trot. And again, in between these new exercises, we go back to something he is familiar with to help build his confidence. New training is scary and unnerving for most horses. It's good to keep building their confidence. Here we go back to asking Aries to leave. This exercise is done in 3 stages. I first ask him very nicely, go out on the circle and stay out there. When he drops and stops, I then ask a second time, very nicely, go out and stay out there. When he stops for the 3rd time, I ask with more pressure. Here he tries to reverse directions, and I block him. Then he did his first full circle by himself. After such a great display of self-confidence, I ask him to come in for some quiet time. Aries tends to need processing time, so the hamsters in his brain can catch their breath. He stands quietly by the rail for a few minutes, letting it all sink in. Once he licks and chews, I ask him to come in. And he walks almost all the way across the round pen. Another first. It's been a big day for Aries. And did you notice? He did it all with a bit in his mouth.